What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. So shout out the people in the Discord, y'all. Y'all sent me a little DM, or one of you sent me a little DM saying, hey, go check out this article. It was from 5 years ago, and it was people projecting who would be the top 50 players in the NBA by 2024. We're here now, so what I want to do is go take a look at that article and see just how accurate they were. All right, let's jump into it. And what is this? It's not a Bleacher Report article, it's an NBC Sports article. Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, I know. Don't panic. Don't panic. We're going to be okay. I know this isn't our normal, safe, happy place of Bleacher Report, but we're here anyway. It's going to be cool. Just by the way, I'm pre-recording some videos just because I'm going to be gone this whole week that you guys are seeing this, and I want you guys to have some content and everything at the end of the day. So I figured this was a good time to go do this. I've kind of had this in the back pocket for a little bit, so we're going to jump in. We're going to do this, and I find this incredibly interesting. We're kind of going back in a time machine and saying, hey, who did we think the best players were going to be 5 years from then? And now we're here. It's very appropriate. And we're just doing 25 through 1 because we don't need to do all of them. But nonetheless, let's jump in and see who they had. I haven't looked at this at all. I never do. The first one, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 25. Well, they were right that he was going to be good. They didn't know how good he was going to be. How Gilgeous-Alexander will develop from here on out will be interesting to watch. His role is changing, and the playing environment and coaching style is changing. He's not going to be Russell Westbrook. Nobody is, that's for sure. Plus, they have very different games. Gilgeous-Alexander is more of a traditional point guard, more game manager, not an explosive isolation specialist who gets buckets. Oh, y'all were wrong. That's what he is. That dude just sits in isolation and gets his buckets. He's one of the best isolation scorers, one of the most unguardable players in basketball. One of probably 4 or 5 unguardable players in basketball. So, nope, they were wrong about that. But look, we give him credit. They knew he was going to be good. They just didn't know he'd be one of the best players in the NBA. So there you go. Shout out to Shai for that one. I think that's interesting. Number 24 is John Collins. Whoa, that's interesting. So he would have been 21 at the time, early in his career with Atlanta. I made the declaration earlier this summer that Collins and Trae Young could be this generation's Stoudemire and Nash. Little did he know, as soon as this article was written, they tried to trade the boy for like 4 years straight after he was having productive seasons for them. But wow, John Collins that early on. I stand by that. Tom, I hope you dropped it from then. Collins may not be as strong and as polished offensively as Stoudemire, but they play with the same force around the basket. That's true. Every time Collins dunks, you wonder what the basket ever did to him to deserve that assault. Well, that's still accurate at the end of the day. And John Collins is a very good player for the Utah Jazz. I guess at the time of recording this, you guys will have already seen the Jazz recording that I literally just finished up 5 minutes ago. So, yeah, we've already talked about John Collins a little bit on the channel recently, so you guys know my opinions on him. I think he's a good basketball player. So, kind of interesting though. Definitely not in the 25. So we overshot this one just a little bit. All right, who do we got next? Kyrie Irving. Yeah, no, we're right about this one. Whether or not he should be 23rd or not, I don't exactly know. But regardless, Brooklyn will help shape Irving's legacy. That's true. He goes to a playoff team with a strong established culture through Coach Kenny Atkinson, who's now establishing a great culture in Cleveland, and an organization with good young players. Already seen on his list Jared Allen, who they didn't keep, Karis LeVert, who they didn't keep, that are both performing great elsewhere. In a year, once healthy, Kevin Durant will join them and form a squad that should be a title contender. And they were so close, even without all the injuries. The question around, how does Irving fit in? How does his game evolve? His leadership skills? Well, nope. Instead, he just went on the internet and did a bunch of rants and everything, and then he got traded to Dallas, where he almost won a championship there. So that has nothing to do, obviously, with Kyrie Irving's play. I don't need y'all talking right now. I don't know who you guys are. So yes, Kyrie Irving's still a top 25 player in basketball. There's no doubt about that. He's still unguardable, best handles in history. When him and Luka are on the floor, they just don't lose, right? It's as simple as that. That team is really, really, really good. Just didn't work out in Brooklyn as much, so we're kind of right in that sense, but kind of not in this at the same time. So kind of interesting there in that one. So man, how quickly things change. That was a time. All right, Ja Morant. The best comparison in that sense is probably DeAaron Fox. Another guard, sprinter speed, and a jump shot that needs fine-tuning. I wouldn't say Ja Morant is like that quick, in my opinion, but yeah, fair enough. The difference between Morant and Fox is passing ability. Morant has yet to play an NBA game, but I firmly believe he is going to be among the 10 best players in the entire NBA when it comes to court vision. Funny enough, nowadays he actually is. If you would have said that even just last season, people would have probably laughed at you, but his passing has improved tremendously this season. So there you go. You got that one right, Rob. Good for you. What else do we have? Passing and the ability to make plays and create shots for teammates out of ball screens. Yeah, no, you got that one right. Good for you. And is Ja Morant a top 25 player in the NBA? Like, I'd probably say so. Like, I haven't made like a list or anything. I don't know if he's top 25 good, but he's certainly like in the conversation. Like, he has to be, right? Like, I think sometimes when we do these like little rankings and stuff, we forget like how many good players there are in the NBA. So we start making our list and we're like, oh shit, this is filling up like really, really quickly because there's so many good ones. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I'd have to make my list out. He's for sure in the conversation though. He's one of the best players in basketball. So yeah, no, fair enough for Ja Morant. They were right about that. Oh no, DeAndre Ayton. Oh no, Ayton is going to be an offensive force in 5 years. Oh no. At age 26, especially if he adds some range to his shot. Oh no, he never did. He's just still at the free throw line taking that shot, and he's damn good at it. Let it be clear, like, he's still damn good at it. He's just in everyone's way. It makes me so mad when he sets a pick and he just basically like boxes out his guy like all the way down. Like, he doesn't actually roll to the rim ever. He just kind of walks himself down and gets in the way, and Scoot Henderson's just like, dude, get out of the way. Like, it's so annoying to watch. However, how high he ultimately should be on this list will depend on a couple of other things. The big one is his defense. That hasn't worked out yet. He struggled on this end as a rookie, still is, with his recognition and his rim protection. He's this athletic and this big, and he still like can't be a rim defender. To me, it's baffling to me. Ayton needs to become a defensive anchor for the Suns. They didn't end up keeping him. The way the NBA is evolving, an offensive only big man who is not a good rim protector has a limited role. Yep, well, you were right about that hasn't changed in the NBA, so DeAndre Ayton is pretty limited in that way, and I think most Portland fans will tell you they would like him gone so that Donovan Clingan, who's a little bit more of a natural NBA player, can play, right? It is what it is. And by the way, this is just like a reminder right here, right? Because they're projecting this because young player, he was just coming off being like the first overall pick and everything, right? And we all buy into the draft hype all the time with things. Everybody does. And so it's important to be critical of everybody and kind of be looking to be like, okay, what are the flaws here? Is this something that we think we can really do? Not every top pick works out, right? But it doesn't mean everyone is a bust either. So it's important that there can be a gray area and things. But no, DeAndre Ayton is not a top 25 player. Pascal Siakam. Ooh, spicy P. Siakam will be entering his prime the next 5 years, and the question now becomes just where's his ceiling? 6'9", elite athlete who's a strong perimeter defender on one end and can create his own shot on the other. Yeah, very fair still. There are not a lot of those around. That's super true. That's super important to remember. Nick Nurse, who's no longer there, said Siakam now has got to be the man for the Raptors. Can he be the number one option? Nope, that proved not to be true. Siakam got a lot of wide open looks at threes last season, with defenses often focusing on Leonard, but how will he adapt when he is the guy on the top of the scouting report? Like, Spicy P had some incredible seasons for the Toronto Raptors after this, like really, really good seasons where he was not given nearly enough credit for how productive he was. And look, like, Toronto doesn't get always a ton of love and everything from the traditional media, so that's part of it. People just don't get to see it, really. But, you know, he wasn't carrying the team anywhere, and was it the best team ever constructed? No, it wasn't bad either. And now he's on the Pacers, and he led them to having a really good season when they traded for him last year. This season it hasn't been quite so great, but we all know it's not Spicy P's fault at the end of the day, so I think there's other roster problems going on there. But Spicy P, is he a top 25 player at this point? Again, definitely in the conversation, right? Definitely in the conversation. He's a super, super elite talent, so I think that's where we'd say, like, I doubt, like, there's no way you would say Spicy P's better than Kyrie Irving at this point, right? Who is lower on the list. So I think that's fair to say. Or like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, interesting. Kristaps Porzingis. Okay, 29 at this point. Is that how old Porzingis is? Interesting. When healthy, Porzingis is a 7'3" unicorn of a big man who can defend inside, still true, run the floor. He looks pretty immobile nowadays, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's times where, he comes down the middle of the paint and he dunks the shit out of the basketball because he's so long, but he does not look that mobile anymore. Knocks down threes. Yeah, he shoots the shit out of the basketball, that's for sure. Averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds per game over his career with the Knicks, and while shooting 36% from three, there are no other big men who bring in his skill set to the game. But will we get the same Porzingis going forward? How well will he move coming back from his ACL and stay healthy? Was he on the Mavericks still at this point, or is he in Washington at this point? He must be on Dallas still, I would have to imagine. So obviously he's moved around a lot since then, and he just won a championship with Boston. So good for him in that sense. He's definitely not a top 25 player at this point. He's become more of an elite role player, right? Like a really elite role player. And that's fine, right? Like, they've got a balanced team of stud players, and that's what's got to happen. Somebody's got to play their role. Even on Team USA, people become role players. Devin Booker was a role player on Team USA. Anthony Edwards was a role player on Team USA. It's just what happens. So, but is Kristaps Porzingis this high? No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Injuries have continued to kind of hold him back. James Harden. Okay, James Harden. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit more so I can see it. The questions for evaluators in this series were, how good will Harden be at age 34 heading into his age 35 season? How will his game age? Probably pretty well, which is why he's still so high on the list. Harden's game is all about craft. It's not built on explosive athleticism, correct? For his freakish skills for someone so tall. It's very, very true. It's super impressive. Harden's unconventional, hesitation-filled game is more about throwing his defenders off balance. He has a lot of old man at the Y in his game. That's so true. That will still work well as he ages. Yeah. Harden's still a very productive basketball player at this age. The Clippers are pretty solid. He's been a facilitator for them, a scorer for them, and while the efficiency numbers aren't ever anything to write home about at this point, still an elite basketball talent that can win you a game any single night, right? How far are the Clippers going? That we don't necessarily know. Kawhi Leonard's already stepped away again to be with his family, which, by the way, like, this is obviously coming out a bit in the future, but like, I presume the wildfires are still going on, man. If y'all are out there and you're dealing with those wildfires, man, stay safe. That shit is so scary. That is so scary to look at. I'm far away from that, and I don't have anybody that I've heard of that is suffering that I know. I just don't know many people out there, but oh my gosh, please stay safe out there, y'all. Evacuate if you need to. Like, that fire moves quickly, so please be safe out there. So that's why Kawhi's gone and everything. I just want to make sure I'm not saying, like, why is he stepping away and everything? That shit's crazy. Like, bigger than basketball moment. But anyway, James Harden, is he this high on the list? It's probably in the conversation. I don't know if it's for sure, though, so I don't know. Kind of interesting. Oh, no. You guys are... Okay, let's just read it. Bradley Beal. Beal is going to be one of the top shooting guards in the game the next 5 years, as he is just entering his prime. Oh no. If only you knew when I was going to read this article. Oh no. Again, recording this on Saturday. Hopefully he hasn't been traded yet, and this is kind of an outdated thing that I'm saying. Beal has made more threes in his career. This is a good reminder for y'all of how good Bradley Beal is. Bradley Beal has made more threes in his career than any other player through their age 25 season. Boom. Blah, 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 blah. He can put the ball on the floor and drive, moves well without the ball. All still true. He ran more total miles last season during the games than any other player in the league. Awesome. And is an active and willing defender. All still true. It's just the problem is he makes $50 million, and he should probably be more so paid like 30 or like 33, something like that. Kind of CJ McCollum-esque numbers. Because, like, look, he's the third best player on a team with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. He's not going to score 30 points. Anybody that uses that an excuse, you're a dum-dum. You're a dum-dum. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself you're a little dum-dum. There's been like 10 teams in NBA history that have had 3 20-point per game scores, and it was like people that scored 22 points, 21 points, and 20 points. That's just what happens. Beal, Durant, and Booker, for all the points that they put up all together, it's like the highest of all time, like of a 3. It's insane. So him only averaging like 18, 19, calm down, okay? Yes, I know he's too much money for his production and everything. It's That's unfortunate, right? That I can't argue with at all. He should be paid less than what he is, but he got the contract because he was that good at that time. So I think that's important to remember. But Bradley Beal is not a top 25 player at this point. Still a very good basketball player, though, nonetheless. Jaren Jackson Jr. The kid has Chris Bosh written all over him. I totally see that and agree with it. And he can be even better. Chris Bosh was pretty good, but yeah, I'd say he could be. It feels odd to call him kid when his game screams wily veteran. That's fair. He was 19 years old at the time, but he can already stretch the floor, block shots like a seasoned big. His defense has become a little bit more of a question because they've made him play center a bit more, and he's a bit better as a help defender than he is like an on-ball defender, but that just is what it is. He's made for the pace and space era. Yep, that's all true and everything. He's going to be one of the best bigs in the league that has like guard-like handle and everything. Yep, we saw especially last year when there was no other guys on the team, he could just take over the offense like for himself, which was very, very cool. Again, is he a shot creator necessarily? No, but he can go get buckets when he needs to, using his size and shooting ability. I said before the season, I'm like, I'll take Jaren Jackson Jr. over Ja Morant in terms of like just like a basketball player at this very moment. I'd still have them pretty lockstep right now. Like, it's not like it wasn't close before, and that comment got me a lot of flack on the internet back then. It's like, okay, look, I understand you've seen Ja Morant dunk a lot of times on the internet, okay? Every single statistic tells you that Jaren Jackson wins them more games. Every single one. And most coaches in the NBA are going to tell you the exact same thing. So don't be one of those Instagram basketball coaches. So, but yeah, no, Jaren Jackson Jr. definitely in the conversation right there with Ja Morant. I think they're awesome. They're having a phenomenal season this year. So yeah, no, fair to say. I don't know if he'd be this high, but is what it is. Ooh, interesting. Jamal Murray, 18.2 points per game while shooting 37% from three last season, yada, yada, yada. The key for Denver wasn't just the scoring threat, although that mattered, but also Murray kept the ball moving and made teams pay for focusing too much defensive attention on Jokic. In the playoffs, Murray upped his game, blah, 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 blah. When Murray struggled on offense, settled for too many consistent mid-range jumpers, still happens sometimes. The Denver offense stalled out, still happens sometimes. But when he was confidently draining threes and moving the ball, they were hard to stop. So obviously, since then, Jamal Murray's won a championship for them, and we can never take that away from him. Dude won a championship. He's remembered forever. He's royalty, right? He was the second best player on that team, is what it is, right? Yeah. He's having an interesting season this year where he's maybe not as efficient as we'd want him to be. That's still always a question for him. But when he's on, he's really on. And the Jokic-Murray pick and roll is still pretty damn hard to stop. Honestly, the Westbrook-Jokic pick and roll is what's been really crazy this season for them. But overall, is Jamal Murray a top 25 player? No. He's probably never going to be an all-star level player. He'll always just kind of be a fringe guy. And that's kind of difficult to swallow at the end of the day because you do pay him to kind of be that good. But look, you won a championship with him at the end of the day. You did. He was the second best player on a championship team, so I can never take that from Jamal Murray. DeAaron Fox. Okay, this is interesting. I'm always looking toward the future individually, and I think everybody has to be a little selfish in that aspect to continue to grow, to continue to be the kind of player I can be, to put the league on notice that I'm here, I'm established, and just continue to grow as a man. Okay, I don't really care about that. Fox has personal goals. Sure, we all do. I want to have a six-pack by the summer, too. Doesn't mean it's true. That was unnecessarily mean. Becoming an all-star to start, plus the team goal of getting the Kings to the playoffs for the first time in 13 years, that was achieved. To get there will take more than just speed. Oh, didn't mean to move down. A little bit of sneak peek there. The craft of Fox's game needs to catch up with the pace. So Fox has become a very, very good NBA player, a very good one. Even made an all-NBA team before, right? All-star level player, incredible talent. He still has some deficiencies in his game to where the three-point shot still isn't always all the best, right? Sometimes he's taking bad shots, but man, he's one of the most clutch players in the NBA at the same time, and the passing still isn't quite where I want it to be. So it's kind of hard to evaluate him at that age, but is he probably a top 25 player? Yeah, I'd say he's definitely in the conversation as well, right? It'd be hard to probably keep him out of that. So I guess you're right for that sense, but I don't think I could say he's top 15, like where they have him right now. I just don't think so. But, you know, he did take the Kings out of their rut and everything, and I know they're struggling now, so sorry. There's other weird roster things going on, but they've been good as of late. So maybe we'll see it. All right, so we saw Devin Booker. That's fair. Booker is an exceptional scorer for his age. Last season, made real strides rounding out his offensive game, converting from all areas, drawing fouls. Yep, he's a go-to scorer. His knockdown three-point shooting also gives him a chance to play a secondary role on a better team if he ever joins one. Well, yeah. Defense remains a huge shortcoming, though. Not anymore. That fits into a larger question about the habits Booker is developing. So, yes, Booker has had like up and down defensive seasons like since then, but we've seen him play really elite defense, and overall, I think he's a good defender. Like that's my interpretation of it. If by the way, if you're gonna comment, Booker's not a good defender, explain. I hate when you guys just say no, he's not. You sound dumb. You sound dumb. I love talking to you guys like you're just going to go respond right there. I just love doing it. I don't know why that's so fun for me. But anyway, Devin Booker, definitely one of the best players in the NBA. No question about that. The injuries and stuff have really sucked. That's hard. The Suns just like inability to kind of work within this big three this year, and just again the in and out of the rotations and stuff, and now all the Beal, like they're shunning him to get him off the team. It's a mess, right? It's a mess. But Devin Booker did take his team to the finals, man, and he was the best player on that team. And, I mean, they competed in that finals, too. It was awesome. And, I mean, looking back at it, like, his third best player was DeAndre Aton, right? And obviously they had Bridges on the team who was younger, and Cam Johnson who was younger, right, who obviously have become very good NBA players since then. But regardless, like, Devin Booker did go a really long way with that group, so we have to give him praise for that. He still is one of the best scorers we have in basketball, pretty unstoppable when he wants to be. Devin Booker's an awesome basketball player that probably deserves to be on this list. Jason Tatum, alrighty. Boston needs Tatum to return to his trajectory as an elite player next season. Tatum had an impressive rookie season that had him looking like the franchise cornerstone, where he averaged 18.5, blah, blah, blah. However, he plateaued in his second season. Relax, okay? It's a guy's second season. Well, everybody wants guys to just be studs right away. Like, these aren't fucking human beings. So stupid. However, he plateaued in his second season, likely in part due to the failed chemistry experiment the Celtics became. Tatum got hung up in that, not moving the ball, and his shot selection got worse. The USA basketball experience in time with Greg Popovich will help Tatum move on. USA basketball is always good for players' development. There's a lot of basketball knowledge to soak up. Well, he's really high on the list now. Probably top 5 or 6 player in the league, right? Won a championship. Yeah, Celtics are really, really good. Yeah, no, he's done it, right? Jason Tatum's become awesome. I keep saying he is the all-star role player in the NBA at this point because he can do literally anything you need him to. If you need him to get 15 assists, 15 rebounds, 40 points any given night, he can do it. He can just do it. Guard the other team's best player, he can do it. Like, he can do just about anything, and he fits the mold of what the team needs at all times. So, shout out Jason Tatum, man. It's awesome. Joel Embiid. How do I talk about this one? Embiid's winning. I honestly kind of forgot about Joel Embiid this whole season. His winding road, fair or unfair, makes projecting him difficult. Well, it hasn't gotten any easier. No matter how many 30, 15, and 5 nights he puts up, it's hard to set aside the injury variable that delayed his NBA career 2 years. Hasn't changed, y'all. It hasn't changed. With 2 surgeries, blah, 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 and his enormous frame, there's no doubt his health record keeps him outside the top 10. Well, that's true. Obviously, he's won an MVP. Playoff success hasn't been there for him, and we've talked about that a lot. His type of play style is why we see his numbers and like guys like Julius Randle and stuff drop come postseason time, because look, on a night-to-night basis, it's hard to game plan in the NBA because you're just moving and doing so much, but in the playoffs, when you have time to really game plan, these players lock in pretty quickly, and his game is a lot easier to stop when players have time to think about it, right? And so that's kind of the thing. And obviously, the injuries are still a big thing. It's hard. He is a very dominant player and stuff, but his mobility's shrinking, and his shot selection's getting worse, in my opinion, and the Sixers are a mess. So I don't know. Like, he's still clearly a top like 25 player and everything. It's just the health is rather unfortunate. So they were kind of spot on with this one. Okay, there was more, but that's fine. Trae Young. Okay, fair enough. Young can shoot with range. Not this year, is a gifted passer, the most gifted passer, I'd say at this point, and is working on taking the next steps in his development. Not quite. He has to get stronger. I don't think that's really happened. He reportedly added 10 pounds this summer. Has to become a better defender. He has. We give him credit for that. Has to learn to finish better on drives. That's gotten better. He needs a floater. He's got that. And to be able to score through or around contact better at the rim. Why was that ever a thing? Curry doesn't do that. A la Steph Curry. Okay, like, Curry doesn't take the contact, though. Like, relax, okay? Like, no. And in a frame like that, we don't want to do that. No. Most of all, the Hawks need him to be a leader. I'd say he's at that point. He seems to be like the dude on that team, to be the guy that pulls his franchise back to the postseason and eventually all the way to the heights not seen in decades. So he obviously had that one run, that whole like New York playoff stint and everything, where like he was really, really good and everything. And the Hawks haven't quite grasped that sense. They haven't quite been able to put together a group that's been able to work on both ends of the court since then. Again, Trey struggling to score a little bit more this season, just in terms of like efficiency and stuff like that. I should say struggling to score. He averages over 20 points in the NBA. That's extremely difficult. But we're not seeing nearly the scoring numbers that we saw before, and it's because of the lack of efficiency, right? The passing and everything, the ball movement, great, right? That's top tier in the NBA for what he does. His play style still isn't adjusted though, and he's still just, if he doesn't have the basketball, he is of no use to the team, unfortunately. And while his defense is getting better and the effort is clearly being shown, and that is phenomenal, like I give him all the credit in the world. Like obviously he's still not a great defender, but that's just size at the end of the day. Size does matter in the NBA, unfortunate but true. So limitations. Is Trae Young a top 10 player in the NBA? No, I would say not. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh no! Simmons, 23, is a special all-around talent. Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. The 6'10 point guard thrives in the open court. He did. He quickly turns his defensive rebounds into fast breaks the other way, attacks the basket, and zips passes all over the court. Yeah, he did. His defense is stellar due to both his versatility and lockdown ability. Yeah, he was the best at it. No wonder the Sixers gave him a max contract extension so quickly. No, no. Oh, he still has it. He still has it. But he has a huge flaw, jump shots. Oh, that hasn't changed. While Simmons is one of the safest bets to be a star in 5 years, it's difficult to envision him becoming a superstar. That's a ceiling on guards, or there's a ceiling on guards who can't shoot from the outside. That I disagree with a little bit. But I don't need to explain this to you guys, because I know that if you're commenting on YouTube videos, you've probably said a mean thing about Ben Simmons on the internet at some point, you mean person. Oh no, what a tragic story, man. Like I've just never seen a dude get bullied into not being good at basketball anymore. Like y'all mentally destroyed him. Y'all mentally destroyed him because he passed the ball. Like, oh my god. Oh my gosh. He was so good. He was one of my favorite players in the NBA. He did everything so well except shoot the basketball. And he still was scoring like 18, 19 points a game. Like, what else do you want? He was elite. He was so good. He was all NBA good already. And we ruined it. Because we're greedy. Because y'all are greedy. You want someone that's just good at everything. You want someone that's good at everything. What a damn shame. Donovan Mitchell. Ooh. Okay, now we'll move on and talk about something else. Last summer was different, Mitchell said, when the USA stopped in Los Angeles. I'm healthy. I've been able to travel a little bit, put in the work. Cool. Just how good can Mitchell be in 5 years? He'll be 27 in his prime, and Utah believes he will lead the franchise back to the biggest stages. Well, that's not what happened. Rudy Gobert was too annoying for the Utah Jazz, who have a very strong culture, to say the least, right? And they were sick of it, and it was making Donovan Mitchell be really annoying to them as well. I've got enough understanding of the inside situation there to know that was the case. Gobert, annoying, was making Donovan Mitchell be annoying, and Utah was just kind of like, not how we do things here, y'all. Gonna keep it real. Like, it's not like you guys are getting that far in the playoffs anyway, and you guys are pissing us off, so guess what? Both of you are out. That's just how Utah does it, right? They've got high standards there. The ones they haven't been since then, so Mitchell got traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he's thriving now. Mitchell wants the pressure, hasn't shied away from the responsibility of leading Team USA. He's leading a team now. He's not shy about talking about his goals for the Jazz, now Cleveland, which go beyond just making the playoffs again next season. Well, they're title contenders right now. Cleveland's put together an elite roster. He's the best player on the team, and we go from there. So is Donovan Mitchell up this high? I don't know if I'd say he's like number 8 in the NBA, but he's got to be up there. So yeah, good for Donovan Mitchell. We were somewhat right about that. Karl Anthony Towns. So this is an interesting one. Towns has all the tools. He's big, that he is big as fuck. Mobile, Looks weird, but he is, and skilled. Very true. List of 7-footers who've shot 3-pointers and scored like him might end at Dirk. Yep, it's just basically him and Dirk. But for all of his talent, Towns hasn't brought the necessary intensity. That's changed this year. He has too often failed to assert himself offensively. That's changed. His defensive effort and execution are consistently lacking. Effort's there, execution's still bad. There just isn't enough force in his game. Yep, that's not true. Towns started to come around late last season. Well, he's really come around now. Towns is just 23. He's now 28. There's so much time for him to figure this out, which is always true and something you guys always have to remember. Look, he was 23 at the time of recording this. You guys hate on 20-year-olds on the internet sometimes. And like, look, guys get hit their prime like 26, 27, right? They got time to develop. They got plenty of time. Jason Tatum was how old now, and we're finally feeling good about it? Like Jason Tatum, like 26, like that's even early, right? So there you go. There's so much time he develops. So yeah, obviously Towns was good in Minnesota past this, but like this ranking him number 7 would have looked really stupid before this season right here, where he gets off the Timberwolves, and we see that the whole time the Timberwolves were holding him back, and now he goes with some better coaching and everything that knows how to set him up in the right spot, and he's in the MVP conversation this year and leading a very, very good New York Knicks team. He leads the NBA in rebounds. He's shooting the absolute piss out of the basketball. That boy is wet out there, and he is dominant. He's yelling, screaming, bullying people. Like, oh, it's so awesome to watch. It's so awesome. Bodega Cat is different. So Cat deserves to be up here. Kawhi Leonard. This ranking is a big bet on health. You were right away, so everything you say after this is correct. The question is not, can Kawhi Leonard be a great player in 5 years at age 33? Correct. He's an elite NBA player now in his prime, just won a championship and everything. Offensively, he can get his own shot. Yep, create for others, shot 37% from 3. What is most impressive in his footwork and ability to get to his spots on the floor. His mechanical, physical style will age well. If he's healthy, that remains the cloud over Leonard's head. So yeah, no, he's just not healthy, unfortunately, and has not really done much of anything in the NBA as of late. Like, he played a lot last season, and it was good, and then it all fell apart again. So, I don't know. What do you want me to say about it, right? Dude just didn't stay healthy, unfortunately, and it's not like that's a knock on him or anything. I mean, injuries happen. I'm a testament to that. I've been through more injuries in my career and stuff than I like to admit, and I can tell you personally, it is so frustrating as somebody that worked so hard on their craft to just have their body fail them. Like, it is so frustrating to just sit there and be like, why won't my body just work with me and make it happen? And it's just, it sucks, right? But at the end of the day, if healthy, maybe he's up here, but he's not, unfortunately. So I don't know. I hope Kawhi can do something this year. Zion. Oh, snap. This is another interesting one. I'll put it bluntly. I think Zion is the kind of talent that can redefine the way basketball has to be played in the NBA the same way Steph Curry did, that LeBron James did, and that Shaquille O'Neal did. Well, that hasn't proven true so far. His physical tools, his skill set, and his basketball IQ are all that high. They really are. There is no question about that. The big question is going to me, how well his health holds up. Bad. Here's the secret. He's 270-something pounds with a vertical leap that gets damn near 4 feet. Yeah, it's crazy. So Zion, I'll continue to say, top 10 player in the NBA. I don't have any question about that. He's that good. It's just the health, right? And how seriously does he take this stuff? It's hard to tell. At the time of recording this, he just got like suspended today because he was like late to a plane or something like that. And it's just like, he just got back to being healthy too. And it's so annoying. So I don't know. I don't really know what to do about that, I guess, but that's the case. So Zion, he belongs up in the top 10, but I don't know. It's up to you guys to say whether or not that counts or not, because he's just not available often. So it is what it is. Jokic. All right. Well, you were right that he should be up here, but he's far too low on the list. Jokic is the rating all-NBA first-team player. Best passing center in NBA history. He's just 24. Wow, or 29 now. Jokic is the only second-round pick in these rankings. He's not a great athlete. Still not. Well, I kind of like what Malone says. He's like, look, just because he's not dunking on people and he's not that fast, like there are other facets to like being an athlete and everything. Maybe you want to say he's not explosive, and I'm sure that's what they more so mean. But he quickly impressed with his great feel for the game. It shows in his passing. Yep. On defense. Yep. That's where he can improve the most. He has. Through his basketball intelligence translates to defense. Jokic athletic limitations also factor prominently. Well, he's the best player in basketball, and it's not even close. So I don't need to probably rant any more about that. Jokic is phenomenal and probably should have won the past like 4 MVPs. So is what it is. Luka Doncic. Yep. You've got him pretty much pegged perfectly right here. Doncic, 21 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists a game in a historic rookie season. Had him as the rookie of the year. Whoa. Was that really how much he averaged as a rookie? That is absolutely fucking crazy. This is not the standard, y'all. That is so crazy to look back on. He already makes decisions and plays like a 10-year veteran when coming off the pick and roll. His feel for the game is amazing. True, his court vision and passing were everything that were advertised, but it comes in a physically strong 6'7" package that allows him to see the court pass over smaller players, and he has showed he could handle contact. So I've had the privilege of actually standing in front of Luka and defending him in a practice scenario. Just know that that's an experience I've had before. That motherfucker's so strong. Like, I have been bumped by D1 basketball players and stuff who are big ass motherfuckers my whole life. Not my whole life, but for a long time, right? That motherfucker's so strong. Like, it is crazy. Like, I've had dudes that were like, I'm thinking back to a particular player in college, 6'8", 270 pounds, and he's struggling to move me. I got pretty strong legs for a 6'5" dude. Like, I got tree trunk legs. I'm gonna have to keep it real with you. That was like my best asset. I got strong ass legs for my position, and they would always be like, God damn, can't move you. Luka just moved me out the fucking way. I was like, damn. So I was like, fuck that shit. I see why y'all can't guard him. So y'all just gonna have to take my word for it. And he's just a dog. There's few things that need to follow to reach the potential. His defense needs to improve. Did in the playoff run last year, so we know it's in there. Cut down the turnovers. Biggest issue is conditioning. Not really. He just kind of plays basketball year-round at this point. But yeah, Luka, one of the best players in basketball. No ifs, ands, or but about that. Anthony Davis. Ooh, interesting. Wait a second, too. We're at number 2. We haven't seen Kevin Durant or LeBron James or Steph Curry. I'm just putting that together right now. Right? That's nuts, right? If we're going to nitpick, he's more of a finisher than a creator. That should work just fine playing with LeBron James on the Lakers. But in the long run, the NBA's second best player is usually more capable of manufacturing a bucket when his team needs. Yeah, he's not the best at it. He kind of relies on other people. Maybe Davis is just so good at everything else, he'll still deserve this lofty ranking. Potentially, he's still probably a top 10 player and stuff. I'd bet on him developing that skill, though. Hasn't really. Last season was the first time Davis shined as a passer. Doesn't really do that now. He's clearly still adding to his game. That ought to terrify the rest of the league. Anthony Davis isn't this high. He's high, though, that's for sure. He's a super, super good NBA player that honestly, I think we forget how good he is until we watch a Lakers game like on TV and we go, God damn, Anthony Davis is so, so good. But no, incredible basketball player. Stayed really healthy as of late as well. I mean, it feels like every 5 games he still has to go back to the locker room and we all hold our breath and then he comes back and he's just fine. But regardless, he's there. So what's going to happen here? Giannis. Okay, I'm curious. Did I like miss something in this article? Did I miss something? We had to put our heads together. Top 50 players in 5 years. Is there anything about Steph, Durant, or LeBron? Did we think they'd just be out of the league at this point? What the fuck's going on here? Okay, interesting. And they also clearly didn't know about Wembanyama 5 years ago. So what the fuck is that? No, I'm just messing with y'all. Giannis. Just one most valuable player, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. He's really, really good. In his career, he won championships on Tentacle, was poised to take over the NBA for a long time. Yep, nope, that's still true. Still one of the best players in the NBA. No question about that. On both ends of the court, he's extremely dominant. He's won a championship since then. Good for him. That's amazing. Trying to win another one. Yeah, Giannis is a top 5 player in the NBA still. No question about that. Where you want to put him exactly, that's kind of up to you. I tend to think I'd put him after Jokic is kind of my thought at the end of the day. Oh, there's a goddamn bug in my apartment again. God damn it. Oh, I hope that didn't sound too loud when I smacked my mic. I'm not even going to cut it this time because I'm so close. I didn't get it. I saw it still flying. I keep this stuff in for shits and giggles. But, no, I tend to say Giannis is the second best. That's me, but you could convince me otherwise. But no LeBron, no KD, no nothing else. Okay. I find that a little bit odd. They're definitely still up there. So there you go. There's the bug. God, got it. I got it, you bastard. There we go. We got him. We got him. We're just going to put that in the trash. But anyway, this has been a weird end to this video, so sorry, y'all. I'm sleep deprived and I've been working too much. But no, this is interesting. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like, who should be on this list nowadays? Like, obviously, the Wemby one. Am I missing someone else? Like, that should be on here. I don't necessarily know off the top of my head, but yeah, Wemby's obviously the first one that comes to mind, and we just had no clue 5 years ago, obviously. But anyway, appreciate you guys for watching. As always, a reminder, there's probably not going to be other videos after this one for the rest of this week as I'm traveling, but hey, I appreciate you guys as always, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.